Hey everyone, I'm Franklin.
And I'm Matt. Welcome to the first episode of the WorshipCast. We want to thank all you guys for coming and hanging out with us here at the WorshipCast. We're going to just kind of talk through some things here in the first episode, get into us and what we're about, and kind of let you know what the podcast is really going to be about, and the things that we're going to film and show to you guys. So, for starters, Franklin, tell us a little bit about yourself and musical background, and why do these people need to listen to you?
Well, I have some experience in the music field. I've been playing a little bit for a little over 18 years now. Just a little bit. 18. I mean, I'm 28 now, so I started playing when I was 10 years old. I took piano lessons for about 6 months. My mother signed my brother and I up for piano lessons, and after 6 months, we thought we were too good. We were like, oh, we want to play this, and so we got cocky and we quit after 6 months.
I've heard this, so this is new to me too.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So we got cocky and we quit after 6 months. Then during 5th grade year, my mother signed me up for violin lessons. I remember specifically telling her, "Oh, I want to play violin." I didn't think anything of it, but she actually did sign me up for violin lessons. Like, oh, okay. And so I started taking violin through the public school system here, and I did that from 5th grade all the way through high school. In that time, during high school, I did also pick up guitar at age 16. So within 6 years,
that's an interesting fact. I was 16 when I first picked up a guitar too. So
yeah.
there you have it.
So 16, I picked up guitar, and then that was actually when I tinkered. I still tinkered with piano a little bit, but it wasn't a lot. Like, it was playing Bryan Adams. I think it was Bryan Adams. I don't remember how. Wherever you are, wherever you go, I'll be right here waiting for you. Right,
okay.
waiting for you.
Right.
That's what
Nice.
it is. Yeah, that's the only song I know how to play because it was in C. That's it. But I tinkered a little bit. But when I picked up guitar at age 16, I picked up piano back up, and it just clicked. Things just made sense. I started playing songs, and I really didn't know what I was doing still. Like, I didn't know key signatures or anything. I just knew, okay, I'm just going to play shapes. I'm going to play G chords, C, E minor, D. I know.
It's funny now because Franklin is our keyboardist for the most part. So he's done all these other instruments, and then now we've forced him to play piano.
Yeah. So piano is my main instrument right now, and I loved it. But I picked up those two instruments back up, or I picked up piano back up, and then played guitar, helped lead worship for the youth group that I was at. And then in college, I was actually part of a ministry team that went out and played on the weekends, as well as led chapel, worship, music for chapel. And so I did that for 2 years, and I was the keyboardist for them. And during my time at North Greenville, I went to North Greenville University. To graduate, I had to have an internship to graduate with a worship degree. So throughout that time, I definitely I definitely grew as a musician. It grew in my faith. It was great, just being around those kind of opportunities that God provided. And then during that internship, it was with a local church that we're
still
that
at,
we live.
right?
Yeah, that I'm still at. Which Matt actually, I think,
I've been there a long time.
Went to a very long time. So, but yeah, now we're still. I've been together with them now for 4.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So And that's kind of where I'm at now. Life has been really good. That's kind of my experience, how long I've been playing. The instruments those are the three main instruments I really love playing. But yeah, Matt, what about you?
I played a lot of video games when I was younger, leading up until I was 16, and a friend from across the road said, "Let's start a band." So, okay, sure. He said, "What do you want to play?" I don't know. My dad had played bass for years. So he played with a couple of country groups. He played with a couple of gospel groups. One of them was on a bus and drove around. So I hung out on the bus and helped him haul stuff. And so he played bass for many years. And so I started off with the bass. And so I picked up bass and I played for about 2 weeks. And he we had like a little basement studio at the time. He come downstairs one day and said, "You sound pretty good. Let me hand you a guitar." And he handed me a guitar, and he ruined my life. Because that's all I've played since then. The first song I learned was "Good Riddance" from Green Day.
No,
I know. Yeah, I shouldn't say that in public, but here we are.
Good riddance already. That's good riddance.
So that's how I started it all. Things have gotten better since then. I was self-taught for a long time, but I learned, from my dad and from some other things, some piano lessons when I was younger and all that. But never really stuck with it. But yeah, I was 16, picked up the guitar, started playing in a very small country church here in South Carolina. That's where we are. I don't know if you can tell from my accent, but we are from the Southland. A lot of picking and grinning in my background. Front porch sitting. Anyway. So we really kind of learned to play at church in front of people, was self-taught, just kind of kept up my own way. And then I got to college, and I was going to college for film, was my idea. And I love to play guitar, but I had other things I wanted to do. But the head of the jazz band at the college heard that I played guitar. He walked into the office where I worked at the college. He took a sheet of a paper that had I don't even remember what song it was. It was a jazz tune the jazz band was playing that semester. He slid it across the desk and he said, "Can you read that?" And I looked at it and said, "Yeah, I could see where, that I knew how to read music a little bit." He said, "Cool, sign up for the jazz band next semester." And I said, "What?" So I took lessons for the first time. I was probably 19 or 20 at this point. And maybe older. And so I decided to take lessons because we were talking about jazz, and I didn't know any. And it took off from there. I ended up changing my major and doing a lot of different things with music. So I've played a lot of jazz. I've had a lot of training in jazz. But over the years, I've played in rock bands. I've played in funk bands. I've played all kind of stuff, all over the Southeast. I've traveled around, done a few cool things. But I always played in church. And so I've been with the church we're currently at nearly 10 years at this point. Every Sunday in and out playing. And it's been an awesome journey. It's always been home getting to be able to hang the other stuff up when I needed to and be able to play for church. So it's been great. And then, like Franklin said, he joined a little ways in, which is good because I'm primarily a guitarist, and they had me playing keys on occasion, and that is dubious at best. So
you are a good piano player.
Enough music theory to just spit it out on the keyboard. But yeah, so we both had training in music.
Yep.
And we've both been playing music. Both been playing worship music for a long time. That's going to be great in this first episode. Prepare. I don't talk right. But yeah, we're excited to be doing this. Real excited to be doing this.
We really are. We really are. It's like the way it happened was crazy. Like God put it on my heart. And I was like, oh, it just came to me. God was like telling me, oh, do something. And I kept thinking about maybe a video, maybe a podcast. It was like a video podcast. I was like, okay, sure. I was like, I don't know about myself. I don't know if I could. I was like, oh, the person best would be who to talk about guitar stuff would be Matt. I was like, oh, I got to talk to Matt about this.
Where you guys out with Metals on Jokes? Get ready.
And then I was like, oh, I can talk about the keyboard side and like the software side and the patches and everything. I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that. But guitar stuff, I know a little bit. I'm a pedal. I like pedals and everything, but I'm not the guru. This guy here.
He likes to look at pedals, study them, just have them.
Yes. No, I mean, I would love to get me a pedal board set up, but one day, little at a time. Right now, since I mostly play keyboard, that's been my big focus, but one day I'll have a better pedal board. So that's kind of what happened, and then I was like, I'm going to talk to Matt, and...
Yeah, funny story. What was weird is I had kind of had an idea too, and I really felt like God was kind of leading me to do something more helpful instead of just me playing, you know. And so I'd had the idea to maybe do some videos of some kind, maybe start a YouTube channel of some sort to talk about gear and talk about ways to play and make your worship kind of sound better. And so I had these thoughts, and I thought, man, Franklin knows a lot about the camera aspect of it, and how to really put this together. So I thought I need to talk to Franklin to see what we need to do in order to do something like this. And we both had kind of decided on the same night that we were going to ask each other that question.
Yep.
Totally. It was so weird.
Yep. It was just God. It was just God.
Oh, yeah.
God planned everything from step by step, input it in our heads. I was like, this, and it just happened. It was great.
We were with our small group. We were going to eat pizza, and he kind of poked me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, I have something I need to talk to you about." And I thought, me too.
Yeah.
Isn't this cool? So yeah, it just kind of developed from there. So here we are, and we want to share what we do and anything we can do to help about worship and worship music with you guys.
Yep.
And that was kind of the basis of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So some of the things we're going to do with the podcast are
we would love to do, things like tutorials, reviews of gear, reviews of albums.
Yeah, we may do some actual pedal shootouts. Some of those kind of things. We may play some things on the show. Like you said, reviews of gear, reviews of music, of albums. We're going to laugh. We're going to joke. We're going to talk about our favorite songs, our favorite gear. We'll tell some stories from our past. We really want it to be an overall fun experience for everybody, gear-wise and worship-wise.
Yeah. We want this to be a place where it can be great for believers as well as non-believers. Even some place where everything is accessible for everybody. So if you're a non-believer watching, listening, we're glad you're here. You're here for a purpose.
And you'll find useful stuff, man.
Yeah.
If you want some pedal shootouts and demo videos and stuff, if that's what you're here for, great. Come on in, check the videos out. Again, we're glad you're here. We hope we can help. That's what this is for. And then if you're here and you are a believer, you're playing at church on Sundays, awesome. We want to help you become all that God would have you be. And we want to have fun while we do it.
And we want to share the experiences that we've been able to have, that God's blessed us with, and maybe you're starting out. This is where we're here to help as much as we can. This is something that God's placed in our hearts, and we love music, we love gear, we love everything about this thing that we call worship through music. It's just, we love it. So God's blessed us with this opportunity to be able to do this right now. Time-wise, we're able to be able to do this. So, yeah.
And then just to give a little insight into kind of how we do now. we don't play for a huge mega church or anything like that. We are normal guys, very kind of standard, you catch us on the street corner kind of guys. We, our church right now, we're not using ISO cabs.
No ISO cabs.
For amps, we're not, we don't have click tracks. We don't have any ears. It really is a smaller operation. So, you know, if you've come and you're watching this and you're thinking, some big church, well, we play at a church where there's only 30 members. It's great. Glad you're here. I've played at those kind of churches, and we're not at a large church now. But I feel like from our background and all the places we've played and got to go, we've got some good things to say to help everybody.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing: like I've played at different places comparatively to Matt. Like, see, I've got experience with those click tracks, with those setting everything up, using Ableton. But right now, God's placed me at this church, not using those and not having those ISO cabs, which, oh man, having those real amp sounds, those tones.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. But right now, what is the most cost-efficient way that we can utilize what God's given us? That's the best. That's the thing. Like, we want you guys, as the viewers, as the listeners, to be able to know that, hey, you don't have to have all this money in order to have the best gear, the best sound. We want you to utilize what you have with what you can afford.
That's going to be a big focus too, especially from as a guitarist. I'm going to say this, and then it's going to look silly when I break out my airplane controller. You don't have to have a huge pedal board. You don't have to have the best stuff. It's unimportant. It's fun, and it can make you more creative, and there's a lot of things that come with it. But you don't have to have the end-all, be-all of everything to be an effective worship musician. Matter of fact, Franklin will tell you this too. The most important thing you can have as a worship musician in a church, this will make your tone better. It will make everything better from the top to the bottom, is your relationship with Jesus Christ.
Amen.
I mean, if you're using a Boss SD1, or if you're using a Metal Zone, that's God. That's what you
God wouldn't use it. God wouldn't use what you're able to get your hands on. Even Absolutely. If you had to start from the bottom. I mean, we started from the bottom, from where we had the minimum, like $80 guitars or $100 guitars.
Digitech RP80. If you don't know what that is, look it up.
I mean, we started from the bottom, and we slowly built up our gear. It didn't come in a night. It didn't come in a day. It just overnight, and it didn't come over weeks. It came through years and years. Again, I've been playing music for 18 years. I mean, Matt.
I'm getting old, so we won't cut there.
But it takes time. It takes a lot of patience, and
the worship experience can be gotten without having to go out and get into debt. And that's another thing. Again, that's going to be a huge thing that we talk about, is that true worship doesn't come from whether you're playing, the best Duesenberg there is, or you're playing a Squire. It has nothing to do with what true worship is. And at the WorshipCast, that's really one of the biggest bases for what we're here for. We want you guys to be the best worshipers you can be. We're going to have some fun doing it.
Yep.
And we're excited. I hope you guys are excited watching this first episode. And
we are glad you're here listening. God again has definitely brought you here for a reason. Either you're a believer or you're not a believer, and you're listening. We're again very grateful that you're here listening and or watching. But definitely be on the lookout for the second episode. We'll definitely be back for more content, whether it be gear reviews, pedal reviews, a little bit of everything.
We're going to hit the ground running. We're very excited. We've got plenty of things coming you guys' way, lots of things planned. So check back with us. We'll be releasing episodes on a regular basis.
Yep.
And
definitely click the like and the subscribe button if you're watching it on YouTube. Or if you like to smash it, like some other people always say now.
Smash that
Smash it. Smash that button. But just thank you so much for listening. And you guys have a great day.
Yeah, this has been the WorshipCast. Finger guns.